Don't mess with Bonnie and Clyde. I knew I'd be doing time when you locked your eyes with mine. I jumped in and took the ride. I'm your Bonnie, you're my Clyde. This old town ain't safe with us. You and me, boy, are dangerous. Our love needs a warning sign. I'm your Bonnie, you're my Clyde.
You've read the story of Jesse James, of how he lived and died. If you're still in need of something to read, here's the story of Bonnie and Clyde.
Look at her. Before the ambush, before the headlines, there was Bonnie Elizabeth Parker. She had no idea that the world would one day memorize her face. In that moment, she was simply a girl standing on a porch in Texas. History hadn't claimed her yet. She was still only Bonnie. Today, Rowena, Texas is still a quiet stretch of road beneath a wide Texas sky. You could drive through it and never know a story began here. It's just fields, wind, open spaces. But in 1910, this was the whole world to one little girl. The roads weren't paved. The buildings, they were wood-framed and weather-worn. Cotton fields stretched toward the horizon. And on October 1st of that year, Bonnie Elizabeth Parker took her first breath. Bonnie's father, Charles Parker, was a bricklayer. A steady man, a hard-working man. Her mother, Emma, kept house and raised the 3 children, Hubert, Bonnie, and her little sister, Billy. They were not wealthy, but they were not destitute. Rowena was small, structured, rooted in church and community. Bonnie grew lively. Bright-eyed, quick with words, she loved attention, loved performing, loved being heard. Teachers later described her as intelligent, expressive, ambitious. Bonnie was a dreamer, and even then, she believed one day her name would matter. In late 1914, while working on a job, Charles Parker fell from scaffolding. The fall broke his neck. He died from the injury. No warnings. No long goodbye. Just an ordinary workday turned final. Emma was 36, widowed, with 3 children, no steady income, and no time to collapse. So Emma grabbed her children, packed what she could carry, and boarded a train for Dallas. Well, West Dallas. Okay, Cement City. It was low ground near the Trinity River. Small wooden houses, dusty streets, working class air that settled into everything. Bonnie's world grew harder, but she did not shrink. She ran through those dirt roads with her sister Billy, laughing too hard, climbing too high. Old enough to feel loss, but young enough to still chase the fireflies. Before she ever posed for police mugshots, she posed for family portraits. Before the headlines, there were school recitals. Before notoriety, there were big dreams. Inside this red brick schoolhouse in West Dallas, Bonnie thrived. She loved literature. She loved poetry. Loved standing at the front of the classroom. This news article, dated March 28, 1922, proudly proclaims Miss Bonnie Parker first place in sub-junior spelling. Bonnie was 12 years old, a small victory, but she loved the stage. Bonnie loved the attention. She loved the feeling of getting it right. She devoured the movie magazines. Hollywood glimmered in her imagination. The silky dresses, the spotlights, the applause. She did not want a small life. She wanted something larger than the street she walked. Bonnie, she wanted to be seen. Bonnie Parker wanted to be remembered. But then at age 15, Bonnie fell hard. And fast. In September of 1926, Bonnie Parker married Roy Glenn Ford. She left school at age 16, left behind essays and recitals and the promises her teachers saw in her. Bonnie and Roy were young. Certainly, they were playing at adulthood. Roy had charm, an easy grin, but he was restless, drifting between jobs, between towns, and between trouble. Bonnie believed their love was permanent. So permanent, she made it permanent. 2 small hearts, pierced by an arrow, tattooed right above her right knee. Roy on one heart, Bonnie on the other. The marriage then faded. But the ink, it did not. Roy drifted to West Amarillo. In 1929, he was arrested there. He was convicted, sentenced to prison. Bonnie was left behind in West Dallas. The separation did not explode. It unraveled quietly. Distance at first, then silence. But she never fully became a Thornton either, just on paper. There was no announcement, no declaration. She just simply stepped back into Bonnie Parker. In West Dallas, that was who she'd always been. Bonnie even kept her wedding ring. She wore it on her left finger until the day she died next to Clyde. She kept the tattoo, but she kept her own name too. She would be Bonnie Parker. And then the country cracked. The crash of 1929 did not stay in New York. It reached West Dallas. Jobs vanished. Wages thinned. Men lined up. Women, they stretched their meals. Roy was behind bars. Bonnie was 19, back in her mother's house.
Whatever it is, honey, whatever it is, it'll be okay. Oh, they said no, didn't they? It'll be okay, sweetheart. Your time will come. Oh, you're a precious thing. The most precious thing.
I'm almost 20. My husband left me, and I'm stuck here in Cement City with prospects none, Mama.
You will do no such thing. You will keep us with your special things. Most girls don't even have the gumption to get a rejection letter from a movie studio. So there. Hop, hop, hop.
Now, Roy Thornton, he would spend much of the next decade behind bars himself. While Bonnie's name would one day fill the newspapers, Roy's remained inside prison ledgers. Records show he attempted to escape more than one time, in 1933 and again in 1934. Restless even in confinement. Then finally, in October 1937, at Eastham State Farm near Huntsville, Roy joined another prison break. Gunfire followed. He was killed during the attempt. Roy Thornton was 29 years old. The girl he married at 15 had already been dead for 3 years. Their lives had split early, but neither found stability. Back in West Dallas, there were no shimmering lights, no flash bulbs, no applause. There was a counter and an apron. Smell of coffee that never quite left her clothes. Bonnie worked as a waitress. 5-cent coffee, 10-cent chili, 25-cent plate lunches. She carried heavy ceramic cups between men who counted coins twice before ordering. Men with calloused hands, men out of work, men pretending not to. The Great Depression did not arrive all at once. It settled in slowly, in smaller tips, in thinner pay envelopes, in longer lunch lines. She watched hunger up close, watched pride swallow hard after asking for refills. Some accounts say she slipped food to men who couldn't pay and was warned for it. Even then, she noticed injustice, not in the headlines, in their faces. She didn't dream of the cement dust. She dreamt of Hollywood. Instead, she had to pour coffee. She poured coffee for the laborers, fed the drifters, and she even served lunch to some of the men who were the law. She could not have known that a few years later, those men wearing the badges they would be waiting for her.
It's them. Ford B8.
Hidden in the bushes. Along the roadside in Louisiana.
Clyde?
Waiting in ambush. In the meantime, Bonnie served coffee. But the law wasn't the only thing around the corner. Destiny was still on its way. The man who would change everything hadn't walked in yet. The date, January 1930, West Dallas, at the home of Clara Clarice Tinsley. Bonnie was visiting Clara that day. They were sitting at the table, talking, their hands wrapped around a cup of coffee. Just another afternoon in Cement City.
You're working too hard again, Bonnie.
Somebody's gotta. And when you planning on bringing home a decent boy, or you waiting for one to fall out of the sky, ain't seen one worth bringing home yet.
You going in? Better not keep her waiting.
Oh, Bonnie. Y'all quit hovering in there and come on in the kitchen.
Clyde wasn't famous yet. He wasn't feared. He was 20 years old, lean, sharp-eyed, and restless.
Bonnie, this here is Clyde Barrow. Clyde, meet my dear friend, Bonnie Parker.
Hello there, Bonnie.